Hello again, folks. So today I was thinking, since it's now April 14th, that it's time to plant some more sweet corn. The reason why I'm doing it in these trays is I want to get a jump start on it. I'm going to be planting this at community gardens, and this is a sweet corn, and sweet corn, if it cross-pollinates with non-sweet corn, it's no longer sweet. It becomes kind of tough and starchy, kind of like the corn that you would use to grind into flour or something. So I want to keep it as sweet corn, and the way it cross-pollinates is that when the corn's flowering, the pollen will blow to other corn stalks. So I try to make sure mine pollinate and flower early. So I'm going to start mine about a month before other people will. So I'll put it in these trays here. So I'm just going to do is get the seedling mix right here. This is just peat moss, perlite, and I think that's about it. There's no fertilizer in it because when the seeds first start out, they don't need fertilizer. But I'm just going to go through, fill these cells up, and then we'll go through and plunk the seeds in. You're going to want to make sure to bust up the chunks. Sometimes you get these things and there's compressed chunks, you just got to bust them up. So you want to break up the chunks if you can, and try to make it a nice, light, fluffy, airy medium. Alright, that looks pretty good. Let's start putting the corn in. This is a white super sweet corn. It's called Eden. It looks like it's 76 days, so I'm thinking mid-July. Maybe early July, but probably more like mid-July. Alright, we got the seeds ready. I'm just going to pop them in. Let me get... I think this will do. I push them about halfway into the cell, so maybe about an inch down. It's a lot easier to work with dry soil too. If this was wet, it would stick to everything. So I wait until the end to water it, and I'll show you how. About an inch down. And you don't want to pack the soil into these things like with your finger. You just want to lightly spread the soil till it fills to the top, and then you can gently push the seed in. The soil will compress as it gets wet. It will expand and compress, actually. Alright, it's planted. Now let's water. So here's what I do to water. just lift up one of these. Rather than pour it on top, you'll cause the soil to kind of float. This stuff is so dry it'll float on water. So you want to water from the bottom up. You just lift one of these and just pour directly into the tray here. I'll put a good amount of water in because the soil's really dry. It's going to soak up a lot. And just let it sit. Over the course of about an hour, this will eventually sponge up. The soil will become saturated. And then I'm going to put this thing on a heating pad to speed up the germination process. If all goes well, we'll start to have sprouts in about 5 days. So we'll check back then. Okay folks, it's been 7 days since we started the Eden corn seeds here. Let's see how they're doing. Alright, so some are clearly strong growers. Some still have to come up. Some are partially up. It looks as though they need a little bit more time, but we've got some promising growth here that's actually pretty good for just 7 days. And like I said, I think I need to be patient a little bit. Some of these are still trying to sprout. Let me see if I can get that in the camera for you here. Some of these little teeny ones are still trying to sprout. So let's give it another 7 days and then check back.